Now you would think, wouldn't you, that the most basic skill set required for a British copper is the ability to speak English. You need a good grasp of the English language for various reasons, from reading suspects their rights, to comforting victims of crime, to giving statements in court. If you can't do any of that, then what's the point of you being a policeman or woman? Now, I've told you guys this story in my previous channel, but I'm going to say it again because it's quite relevant to this video. And so I was in Portsmouth town centre having lunch while in my previous job, and I just happened to be in Portsmouth Crown Court at the time, when I was suddenly accosted by 3 policemen. 2 of them were Caucasian and the other guy was black. And it's this officer who started asking me questions, and for the life of me, I could not understand a word he was saying. His accent was so thick, and his grasp of the English language was so broken that I quite literally couldn't understand the guy was saying, and it took one of the other policemen to interject, because they could see I had no idea what he was saying. And he eventually asked me if I fancied taking part in a photo ID parade. Now, considering I was in my prison officer's uniform, I thought this was quite baffling. Of all the people in Portsmouth town centre at that moment, and they asked me, was just stupid, so I made my excuses and told them to bugger off. I couldn't get over the sheer stupidity of it all anyway. So that got me thinking, because before I got that job, I applied to be a police officer with Hampshire Constabulary. It took me 3 goes before I eventually passed everything, and I was just waiting for a date to start my training, when heartbreakingly I received a letter from them saying that my application had been terminated as they were going in a different direction recruiting-wise. So they were looking for box tickers, and I didn't take any of them. And yes, that did anger me at the time, and I've got the letter somewhere still, I think. Someone remind me in the comments one day to dig that out, and I'll show it for you. It's quite something. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you that story is because of this. Now, the policeman you see in front of you on your screens right now is one of 3 who approached this guy in the video. And this video is making the rounds on social media because the obvious reason. And so the guy who was being questioned by him takes his camera out, and you can tell he was in the same situation as me. He could not understand a word this guy was saying. And if you look at the copper to the on the right-hand side of your screen there, he has to look away because he's embarrassed. And so eventually we find out that this copper has stopped the guy with the camera because he suspects him of having drugs on him. Well, of course, we don't know the full context of this video, what happened before or after, but if you watch the video, and it's on X. I can't show it on here because I can't find the guy to get permission. But it's really quite something, and it reminded me of what happened to me in Portsmouth. And that's the state of the police in this country right now. It doesn't matter if you can solve crime, if you've got the ability to work things out. It doesn't matter if you can't speak English properly. All that matters now to the police service here in the UK is that you tick boxes because reasons, and that's why they're in such a mess. There are some good, mature men and women here in the UK whom I believe would make excellent coppers. Coppers who would want to do their jobs. Coppers who want to protect the public and property from criminals. Coppers you can run to and trust with your safety if their lives are in danger. Coppers who aren't afraid of chasing down criminals or suspects, taking them down, arresting them, because they're hard as nails and they would put the fear of God into vile criminals. These are the people whom the British police and the public are sorely missing because of political correctness. But this is where we are now. Like every other establishment in the UK, the police have to appease the woke gods. Diversity, equity and inclusion is the way forward rather than meritocracy. And it's a crying shame, isn't it? And there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you haven't, why not? And if you have, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. And so until the next time, look after yourselves and Roger Trout.